Your journey to become a Pokemon champion starts here. Explore the epic Galar region and meet brand new Pokemon. Adventure awaits in this vast, expansive area, where you can battle gigantic wild Pokemon. You can forge your path to greatness in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Only for Nintendo Switch. Games rated E for everyone.
What's good with y'all? It's your boy AD, and to be honest, I don't think a Pokemon game has ever implemented the amount of new mechanics that Pokemon Sword and Shield have. And that would make sense because a lot of fans and critics are calling this the best Pokemon game in the series. For those that don't know what Pokemon Sword and Shield are, it's a role-playing video game developed by Game Freak and published by the Pokemon Company and Nintendo, which this game is exclusively for the Switch. This game came out November 15th, 2019, and just getting into some of the quick facts in the game before diving deeper into Pokemon Sword and Shield. This game has a 40+ hour campaign, and from what I've heard, it fixes most of the problems from previous Pokemon games. One of the fixes letting you skip the tutorial. And arguably the best feature in this game is taking away all the unpredictable encounters that you have with past Pokemon games, and instead you actually see Pokemon roaming around, meaning you'll see the Pokemon before you battle it, or if you don't want to battle that Pokemon, let's say you already have it, you can just run around it. So looking and listening to a lot of players who played the game, they say that this is one of the best features that Nintendo has ever added into a Pokemon game. It really makes exploring a lot more enjoyable. But before we get more into Pokemon Sword and Shield, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, while also sharing this to help my channel grow. Now, starting with gameplay, it's the same turn-based formula used in every other Pokemon game, just with updated animations to give this game more of a polished look. And like I said earlier in this video, it's a lot more enjoyable to explore the world, as you don't have the tedious system when you run into Pokemon accidentally. And speaking of some of the Pokemon, you'll be surprised by some of the Pokemon you run into in this game, and a lot of people are leaking them online, so if you don't want to find out about it beforehand, you have to watch yourself when you go on social media looking for insight on this game. Playing through gym challenges are very rewarding, and people around the town will comment on your latest battle, which plays into how immersed the game makes you feel. And probably the most important part of any Pokemon game is the wild area, where you search to catch different Pokemon change in weather conditions. And with Pokemon roaming around now, unlike previous games, it makes it very easy to catch the Pokemon you want while also avoiding the ones you already have. And that's going to be a theme throughout this video, because that mechanic really, if you look at the past games, is one of the most innovative features that Nintendo has ever put into a Pokemon game. But enough of the gameplay, let's get into the online mode. So with Always Online is what they're calling the feature. It hasn't been released to the public yet, but there's a new 4-player raid battle, which includes you having 3 other AI trainers where you all use your best Pokemon to battle a rare but catchable Gigantamax Pokemon that are hidden deep in the wild areas. And also, these Gigantamax Pokemon sometimes show up in gym trainer battles. And this is one of the main features that will play into the online mode. Playing with 3 other AI trainers against a Gigantamax Pokemon is cool and all, but once you get to play with your friends and actually strategize which Pokemon y'all want to use, because it's really random when you play with the AI trainers, you don't know what Pokemon they're going to use. It will be a lot more transparent once you play with your friends against these type of Pokemon, because then you can map out more of a game plan. Now, talking a little bit about the story, it's basically the same as every Pokemon game. Is catching Pokemon with friends, rivals, and neighbors in the new world of Galar, or Galar, whichever way it's pronounced. But this world has UK-inspired locations and interactions, plus the world has great immersion with attention to detail and beautiful British landscapes that you will run into throughout the game. Getting into the pros and cons of Pokemon Sword and Shield, Shield. Starting with the cons, the voice acting leaves more to be desired as the animations of your player's face doesn't really match the voice acting, and that goes for all the other NPCs in the game. And then the graphics are one of the things that was talked about the most when I was searching through reviews and listening to people who played the game. They said that it's a little downgraded compared to other Nintendo titles like Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, and Luigi's Mansion 3. But that leads into my pros of this game, where the graphics aren't as good as the other Nintendo games, but compared to the other Pokemon games, it's the best it's ever been in the series. Pokemon Sword and Shield has great attention to detail, and by now it's to be expected with every Nintendo game. They really make it obvious how much detail is in their games by rewarding you when you explore more areas that aren't just laid out for you to see. And the biggest thing with this game is that there are numerous noticeable gameplay improvements, unlike past installments that just had at the most like 1 or 2. The Pokédex is really helpful in helping you choose which Pokemon to catch next, and the story is very unpredictable and keeps you interested, like most Pokemon stories. Now, continuing from the last video, getting into some fan reviews. For my first tweet, here's a person calling out for this sake, the vocal minority, as Pokemon Sword and Shield sold 6 million copies around the world and holds the title of the fastest selling Nintendo Switch game of all time. So basically, this tweet is just reminding game developers not to listen to the vocal minority, but listen to the people who actually enjoy your game for what it is. Now, moving on to the second tweet, this Twitter user is comparing himself to a Pokemon as well as poking fun at himself because of the characteristics that he shares with this Pokemon. So that was funny to see. Getting into the next tweet, this user posted a picture saying selfie with the champion. And for me, this just plays off of how the game makes you feel whenever you win a battle, making you seem like a celebrity whenever you're outside in the city after beating everybody in a Pokemon gym. So that'll really make you want to keep playing the game, as the game really boosts your ego as you keep winning throughout these Pokemon gyms. Getting into the last tweet, this user said, I have assembled a team of elites ready to take on the world. Now, I haven't played this game, so I don't know if he's joking or not, but from the looks of it, it seems like he's joking. As you can see, some of the pictures on here are his Pokemon listed out, and there's a mechanic where you can camp in the game and spend time with your Pokemon. The second picture is just a depiction of his Pokemon around the camp, and I don't really know what's going on in the third picture. But anyways, moving on to critic reviews, IGN gave this game a 9.3 out of 10, saying, Pokemon Sword and Shield are the best games in the series, streamlining its most tedious traditions without losing any of the charm. GameSpot gave this game a 9 out of 10, saying, in collecting, battling, and exploring, Sword and Shield cut out the bloat and focus on what makes these pillars of the Pokemon game so captivating in the first place. You're not held back by the overly complicated back-end systems or hoops to jump through. From the outset, you can start wondering the Galar region, seeing its new Pokemon and trying out its new battle strategies with very little in your way. This leaves you free to enjoy what Pokemon is all about, and that makes for an incredible strong showing for the series' proper debut on the Switch. Now lastly, because of this game being exclusively out on the Nintendo Switch, there's only one score from Metacritic, and they gave this game an 81 out of 100, with the user score being a 3.7, which it says Pokemon Shield on the screen, but from what I've heard, Pokemon Shield and Sword are basically the same with minor changes. But in summary, Pokemon Sword and Shield delivers in the best way possible and makes a lot of changes long-time Pokemon gamers will appreciate, making this the best overall game in the Pokemon series. But let me know, have you played Pokemon Sword and Shield? And if you have, what do you think of the game, and which Pokemon did you enjoy playing with the most? So yeah, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed this, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button, subscribe, and share this with your friend, neighbor, dog, or just send this to the person across the street wanting to roam around catching all the Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch, because without them, this wouldn't be possible. And with that, I'm out.